Hey everybody, welcome back to another Sons of Cinema review. My name is Ron, and today's review will be on the 2025 horror movie Monster Island. This movie is a Shudder exclusive. It's an hour and 24 minutes long. It's directed by Mike Williwan. It stars Dean Fujioka and Caleb Woodhouse. So let's get into the story. Spoilers, as always, spoilers. So this movie starts out with a pre-title sequence where we're on this Japanese warship. It's 1944. Now, this ship is called a hell ship, and a hell ship in history was Japanese ships that would take prisoners of the Allied forces, and they would ship them to different places for slave labor or to POW camps, and they wouldn't label these ships. So the Allied forces a lot of times would blow these ships up. They didn't know there was prisoners on them, so they would call them hell ships. And on these ships, the prisoners were shoved into these ships. A lot of them died from diseases, dehydration, starvation, and if they weren't blown out of the water. And what we have in the beginning of the sequence is we're meeting our main character. His name is Seato, and he's called into the commander of the ship's office, and we find out that Seato is labeled a traitor. He has done something to piss off the Japanese soldiers, so he's being shipped back to Japan to be executed. We're not privy to what he's done. They never really mention it, but the commander of the ship wants to make his stay on the ship as least comfortable as possible, so he decides to shackle him to a British soldier named Bronson. Bronson had tried to escape, I think, the night before, so they shackle these two guys together as punishment, and we get the ship is attacked, it's torpedoed and blown up, and then boom, we've got our title, Monster Island. And as soon as that's done, our next scene is these two soldiers, Seato and Bronson, were washed up on this beach of this island, and their first instinct is to fight and to kill each other. So they're trying to kill each other. Their fight takes them from the beach to the shallows of the ocean water, and as they're fighting, we get our first glimpse of the creature who tries to grab Bronson, but Seato kind of saves him by shooting him with this gun that he got from, there was a soldier on the island as well that was washed up, and he had a pistol on him, a sidearm, and he only had one round. So Seato saves Bronson by firing the round at the creature. Creature goes away. The next couple scenes, we get them trying to make camp on this island, the beach, and Seato's really taking care of Bronson because Bronson doesn't know the terrain. He's not used to this environment. So Seato is a fisherman by trade. He's used to this kind of environment. So he kind of takes charge and helps them both get food and water. A lot of things washed up on the shore from the ship. So they have some supplies on the beach there. Seato also helps Bronson get out of the chains by showing him where to hit these chains with. They find some kind of gear mechanism that they're using to chop these chains with, and they both get free. And then we get three other people from the shipwreck that now show up on this island, and two of them are Japanese soldiers, and one looks like he's a prisoner from the ship, and they start to talk with Seato, but Seato knows that if they see Bronson, that they will probably kill him because he's a white guy, and he's not Japanese, so they know he's not on their side. So Seato has him go hide out in the jungle. Well, they discover that Seato was the Japanese soldier they had heard was chained up and shackled to another prisoner, and they're about to kill him when the creature shows up, and the creature dispatches and kills all three of those guys, and we get Seattle and Bronson, they escape. They run away, and they end up going towards and falling over a cliff, and they're falling down this ravine or cliff or whatever it is, and they end up getting separated. And Seattle is walking through the jungle, and he ends up coming across a soldier who's been parachuted out of his plane and is hanging in this tree, and he's been dead for quite a while. He's got a sidearm in his hand, and Seattle actually kind of backs up, and then he falls into this hole. Well, in this hole is another creature, but the creature is dead. It's been shot to death. So we deduce that the soldier parachuted out of the plane, got caught in a tree, and came across this creature and just blasted it. And he ended up, I think, maybe just dying of the tree. Now, this creature was in this hole that was like a pit, and it was covered. Why or how it was covered, we don't really know, but we assume that after that the soldier died of starvation. I don't remember any kind of wounds on him, but whatever. So anyway, Seattle takes his sidearm, keeps it with him, and Seattle also found a sword, so he's got a sword and a sidearm. And Bronson, he's making his way through the jungle on his own, and he has nothing. He does come upon this plane, as does Seattle. There's this plane that has crashed in a lagoon, and it's kind of like halfway sticking out of the lagoon, so they get some supplies out of it, like a flare gun, but there's also a big bomb still attached to it. So they come back together, and they decide to kind of do some more exploring around this lagoon, and they find this cave. They go into the cave, and they see up high, it looks almost like a spider web, kind of like from Species. It kind of looks like that, but there's a cocoon with a little baby creature in it, and the creature shows back up, and we kind of find out that the creature is a mother, and the creature that was in the hole that was shot to death was its mate. And so this mother obviously wants to protect her baby, so she gets it on with these guys and starts fighting them as they go back to the plane. They want to get the bomb and blow up the cave with the baby in it, and hopefully try to get the mother as well. So they go back to the ship, they grab this bomb, they go back, they're trying to set this bomb up. The creature's attacking. The bomb has been damaged, so the plunger at the end of the bomb, so it has this little plunger at the end, so when the bomb hits the ground, it plunges, and then boom, the bomb goes off that way. But this little plunger is bent, so it won't move. So Bronson says that one of them has to stay to try to manually straighten it out and then plunge it. So he decides that they need the axe, so they're going to go back and get the axe, and they're fighting the creature from the plane to the cave, and they're just kind of making their way all over, fighting each other. Seattle is holding his own. He's pretty badass in this movie when he's fighting with the creature. And anyway, they all make their way back to the cave, and Seattle's finally had enough of the creature. It's mortally wounded Bronson, so Seattle takes the gun and he shoots the cocoon where the baby was in, and the baby is killed. And the mother is pissed and wants revenge, and they start to fight some more. And after the creature ripped into Bronson, he decides that he'll stay, and he takes the axe and he kind of hits the plunger on the bomb, and Seattle takes off. And the creature is still in the cave with Bronson, and it blows up, and we got kind of a quiet moment in the aftermath, and Seattle is standing there, but the creature somehow survived the explosion. So the creature chases Seattle back to the beach, and Seattle has another badass fight scene with this creature, and he's got his sword, so he's doing his thing. He ends up kind of fucking up the creature, and he has the creature on its deathbed, laying there. He's sliced open his stomach, and Seato has also had some mortal wounds to him, and instead of killing him, he leaves the creature alive and just kind of stabs next to his head, and then he just walks off, and he takes the flare gun and he wants to shoot it in the air at the beach, and the flare gun doesn't work. So we get him just standing there, and he collapses to the ground. And then we get another scene of, it's 1945 now. Another ship, it looks like an American ship, has come to this island and rescued him. And then they ask him some questions about what happened, who was Bronson, what happened to him. And he's basically telling him that Sato, I was thinking of Karate Kid 2. No, Bronson is his friend and was his friend. And the last shot we get is of the creature looking out towards the water, and boom, that's the end of the movie. Now, things I liked about this movie, it's beautifully shot. The island locations, the water scenes, and it has great effects in this movie. Sometimes you get a little, glimpse of some CGI, but it ain't that bad. But for the most part, the practical effects in this are really good. And I also like the great acting in this movie and the chemistry between Seato and Bronson. The movie's 90% them, and it's enjoyable to watch them. Again, their chemistry is great. I had no complaints on the acting in this movie. In fact, the things I didn't like about this movie, there was nothing. There was nothing I didn't like about this movie. So let me get into what I thought were some of my favorite scenes. The beginning scene is awesome when the ship's getting bombed and torpedoed. That's kind of cool. And then we've got our title sequence. Also, the first appearance of the creature is fucking epic. This creature fucking shows up. When I told you he attacked those three guys that we just kind of got to know for like 2 minutes, and he rips a guy's arm off, the first guy. Then he tears the guy's head off and rips it, pulls it off his body, and he fucking throws it. And then he rips another dude's heart out of his chest. And then the last guy, he rips off his head and spine from this guy's body. It's an epic start to like seeing a creature. It's badass. Also, a scene that I liked, when he tears, it's just a real quick scene. There's like this humongous alligator that kind of comes up on Bronson, and he kind of avoids it, but creature fucks it up and then just takes both jaws and rips it in half. Cool little scene. Another scene that I like is in the cave when Seato shoots the cocoon. This little this little fetus baby creature falls out. It's a cool practical effect. It doesn't really move because it's like stillborn, obviously, and it's like this big, and it's a cool little creature that they made. It was a really awesome scene. And then leading into the last confrontation is another great scene. Like the last 20 minutes of this movie are just fucking awesome. It's just nonstop, and it goes really quick. So my final thoughts were, this movie was the shit. I love this movie. This movie, for me, was almost perfect. It reminded me like if you took Predator and Creature from the Black Lagoon and somehow they fucked and had a baby. this would be the baby. This movie reminds me so much of Predator, and I get that there's a little play on with the creature from the Black Lagoon, but a lot of this movie reminds me of Predator, and who doesn't love Predator? That first Predator movie is insanely awesome. So this movie also has a very simple plot. It's fun, it's fast, it's easy to follow. There is no boring time in this movie. Everything flows perfectly. Everything is really explained that needs to be explained. This movie I will watch over and over again, and it's definitely going on my shelf, and I highly recommend it to anybody. So check it out. Again, it's on Shudder. And that's it for the review. I appreciate y'all watching. Again, if y'all have any any reviews that you'd like me to do, please send me a comment. Also, like and subscribe if you dig my videos. Thanks, and I appreciate everybody, and I'll see you later. Peace.